Welcome to Mind Over Media,
where two brothers tackle headlines, hard truths, and hot takes with just enough wisdom to sound like we know what we're doing. I'm John Martin.
and I'm Jim Martin.
We're brothers, commentators, and occasionally civil.
Now, let's dive into the madness. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Jim Martin.
And I'm John Martin, and this is Mind Over Media. We've got a big show for you today, Jim. It's a huge show.
Massive. It's just packed full.
Well, we've got at least 5 minutes of information, and we're going to try to jam-pack it all into 45 minutes once again.
It's going to be tough.
Because that's what we do. We're information packers. I don't know.
As long as you call us information packers.
But we do have a lot to go over today.
We do.
What do you got, Jim?
Well, I was actually wanting to start off a little more lighthearted than we normally do.
Oh.
And I have
I thought we were always lighthearted.
written down here some strange laws that are affecting the United States.
Oh, okay, yeah. I like laws.
Well, laws are good sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. The first one I've got here is...
Wait. When are they bad? Laws are always good.
You'll see.
Oh, okay.
All right. The first law is from Texas. And in Texas, it's a crime to sell human eyeballs.
Wait a minute. You're not allowed to sell eyes in Texas?
No human eyeballs.
Is there a state where it is legal?
Not that I know of, but Texas wants to make sure
that you know
the law there. Yes.
So if I go through Texas, and I'll be going through Texas here in a few days.
If you're short on gas or you need some food,
don't
sell your eyeballs before you get into Texas.
Before you get to Texas. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. What else you got? Nobody
follows the laws.
Yeah, they are on the
Well,
books.
they might follow the eyeball law, but...
Yeah, they might still follow that. What else?
But, yeah, a lot of these are just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's fun to go over.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to Colorado now.
Oh, boy. Okay.
In Denver, Colorado, it's illegal to drive a black car on Sunday.
Well,
every other day it's okay.
It's
Sunday.
Why? Is it because black is like considered an evil color, and it's Sunday?
I don't know.
That's interesting. Wow. You can drive a car on Sunday.
You can drive a car. It just can't be a black car.
And there in Colorado, you can be blindfolded and
right.
drive it. You just can't
drive a black car while blindfolded in Denver.
Wow.
And that's just it said Denver, not just Colorado. It said Denver.
Just Denver. Okay, so it's probably a city ordinance.
Right.
Because they're very responsible there.
Well, you know how they are in Denver.
Yeah, very responsible.
Yep. All right, we're going to go back to Alabama.
Oh.
Alabama. In Alabama, it's illegal to go to church while wearing a fake mustache.
And this isn't just on Sundays. This is any day. And
you can't go to church while wearing a fake mustache.
Was that such a thing back then?
I don't know.
You know, I remember watching these old movies and seeing men actually do that. Like they would wear a fake because it made them look more regal or sophisticated.
Well, I read up a little on that, and they said that the reason for it was that you might cause people to laugh. And in church, they don't want people laughing.
Oh.
So, but what would be the
Is there a lot of fake mustaches
to make people laugh in church? Yes.
So when we used to go to church when we were kids, we'd wear those wax lips.
Yes.
I mean.
Yes. It would be fine if it was just the lips, but you know the ones that had the lips with the mustache?
Yeah, you can't
that would have been illegal.
You can't do the full part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So, just amazing. Just amazing. What else?
All right, we're staying in Alabama for one more here. This law has actually been repealed, John. But in Alabama, it was illegal to play dominoes on Sunday.
So you can play chess or Monopoly,
anything, just not dominoes on Sunday. Yep.
I bet I know where that came from. So dominoes was popular way back when.
Yeah.
That's especially in the South. A lot of people love dominoes. And what was happening, I'm sure this is what it was, is all the gentlemen would get together and maybe drink a little adult beverage
Yep.
and spend all day playing dominoes, not go to church, not do their spiritual duties. So Alabama decided, hey, let's make it illegal for dominoes and we'll fix the problem. So did they have places they could go like in secret to play dominoes?
Well, they had the underground domino huts.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I want to get back to the fake mustaches in church because I was thinking, who does that? And is this the first anti-trans legislation on the
It
book?
might be.
I
It
mean,
might be.
You know, was it the females trying to wear the mustache and
Which
trying
would
to
make
pass,
people laugh back
trying
then.
to pass as a male? And they're wow. I think we discovered some
Some of the origins of.
Yeah, I mean, this
Yeah.
is especially wow, especially in today's society that would be
Yep.
taken as an anti-trans movement.
Yep.
And wow, just crazy. Holy cow! What else you got, Jim?
All right, we're going to go to Alaska, guys. We're going to go to Alaska where it's forbidden to wake a sleeping bear. Why you would want to do that, I don't know. But,
Are you stumbling across sleeping bears a
Well,
lot in
well,
Alaska?
and if you do, why would you try to wake him up?
Well, you know, I don't like bears in the first place.
Yeah, well, bears and sharks. The two things you're afraid of, supposedly.
Well, I don't like them. What good is a bear except for killing you? Well, they make good rugs.
Yeah, great rugs.
But, I mean, they're going to eat you. Why would you wake a bear? And it was such a problem
That they had to make a law out of it.
people were waking so many bears, and it was costing the state of Alaska so much money
In burial fees and stuff.
to go out
Rescue fees.
and rescue these people that have been mauled by bears because
They just said, wow, there's a bear. Let's wake him up.
it must have happened so often that it became an issue. Or was it just some guy sitting there? You know what? I got nothing to do. I just got elected to office. Let's write some laws.
Yeah, let's write a law.
Let's do something.
I was out and I saw a sleeping bear, and I just thought to myself,
Jeez.
we shouldn't wake him, and I
Yeah.
think we should write a law to make sure everybody knows that.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, and that's not on Sundays either. That's
No, that's
every day.
all the time. Yeah,
Every
there's
day you're not allowed to.
Never allowed to wake a sleeping bear in Alaska.
You probably do see a lot of bears up there.
Well, we used to wake bears in Montana.
well,
you know.
that's not Alaska.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you know, we used to wake a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
In Montana. What else you got for us?
All right,
today,
the last one we've got. This is going to be a controversial one, I think.
Jeff? Oh boy.
Okay, this is in Vermont. In Vermont, it's a law that a woman needs to get written permission from her husband in order to get false teeth.
Well. Oh boy, I could go so many places with this. I would think they wouldn't want them to get false teeth. but
Depends on what you're
but I
planning.
I can see that. I mean, these are old laws, and the man made all the money and paid for everything. So I can see, what were these women doing? Going to dentists behind their husband's back, and then the husband would come and say, "Hey, what happened to the grocery money? Oh God,
Oh, I got false teeth.
I thought you liked my teeth." You know, and wow, what were they made out of? The George Washington wood
Wood.
teeth? Were they? Yeah. Wow. Some really weird laws, but and again, I can remember a lot of those blue laws in Montana that nobody. You can't have an umbrella out past a certain time, but nobody ever, called the cops.
They
or
just
did
had
anything.
the senior prank in Montana.
Yeah.
And there's a law in the book stating that if you ride your horse to school,
Yeah.
the principal is required to feed it and house it.
Well, I think
So
that
a lot of
that's a good
students
law.
rode horses to school that year.
Well, yeah, and I could see that being a valid law back
Back
then.
in the day, yes.
When you were in a rural area,
Yep.
Which there was a lot of kids that went to our school that were in the rural
Yeah.
areas and rode tractors and stuff to school. But I could see that, taking a horse to school, because back then it's like, well, I can't go to school, I got to watch the farm. Well, ride a horse.
Yeah, ride the horse,
Ride the
yep.
horse in. and then they would take care of it. That makes perfect sense.
Feed
to
them
me.
and house them. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Well, we got the lightheartedness or hard-hitting stuff out. You got any more?
That was it for that one. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What else you got for us today, Jim?
Well, I was watching the news this morning about the escapee from New Orleans.
Oh my gosh,
that Antoine Massey.
Well, there was 10 of them.
Right, but this is a specific one.
There's 2 left.
Yes,
yeah.
and Antoine Massey put out I think it was a 9-minute video on Instagram.
Right.
Pleading for help from Donald Trump and Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne's gonna help him?
Yeah.
What is that all about? Is that guy still around?
I don't know, but
maybe when he went to prison, he was popular,
and he probably thinks he's got money still.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
And maybe he does, and maybe Lil Wayne is gonna do everything for him. I don't know.
GoFundMe. Start a GoFundMe for this guy.
But it was a strange thing to see a video of him pleading for help from Donald Trump and Lil Wayne, stating that I was just let out.
Yeah, I saw that where he was on the news and he was giving his little speech on an Instagram post that he made, saying, "I didn't escape. I was let out." Well, you can see on the video, if you call pulling a sink off the wall and going through a pre-cut
Well, he
hole,
didn't pull it off, John.
No. But
they pulled a toilet out and crawled through a hole to get out.
When the rest of the prison is supposedly in bed and you're at that spot, you weren't let out. You went out.
But he was let out. I mean, he didn't pull the toilet out. He didn't open anything.
He wasn't let out. He
walked out.
He left. He could have stayed.
Yeah, he could have stayed.
He left.
He could have stayed.
You know, that's here's the issue, Jim. I see with that. Thank God I've never been to prison. I don't want to do anything to ever put me there. Mess with my family, and I might end up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't want to go to prison. But if I ever did end up in a place like that, and were lucky enough to escape, I would see. Here's the mistake they made. They all stick around in the same
city
vicinity
area,
and they put on a baseball cap and sit in a park and think they're blending
and hope nobody notices.
And they don't know their pictures and
facial recognition software.
It's everywhere now, Jim. I mean, it's on light posts. It's on street lamps. I mean, they know where we are all the time.
Yeah.
A Big Brother is watching.
Oh, yeah.
And so is Big Sister and Mama and Papa. They're all watching.
Uncle.
And if they would just, after they escape, instead of hanging about and hanging around and trying to be cool around their friends, go to the woods.
Go up into the hills.
You know, live like a hermit or go camping for a month.
Go camping for a year or two.
Well, and they're in New Orleans, so I'd go to the swamps.
Yeah, go to the swamps.
Go do something.
Or get out of New Orleans. Don't just hang out there.
Listen, man, get a car, jump on the interstate, drive as far as you can on that tank of gas, and then decide to go camping from that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no way they'd find you. You're off the grid. You grow a long beard. You could hunt, fish, whatever. But these people, they're so. Even our criminals are spoiled. They can't live without a pre-made meal put in a microwave, and that's why they're not camping or running to the woods.
Because they don't know how to survive out there.
Nobody. Yeah, it's a lost art, Jim.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I can remember when we were young. Dad would teach us how to chop wood with the little tiny stuff.
Yep.
And we'd always try to start it with our hands.
Open cans with that little thumb thing.
Yeah. I mean, survival. You got to know how to survive. I mean, what if your car breaks down? How many kids today don't know how to change a tire? You know, we were changing tires when we were 6, 7 years old. Not changing them, but helping.
Well, yeah, and we used
knew
to fight
the process.
each other. Hey, it's my turn. It's my turn.
Yeah, we knew the process. That's the problem today. People don't know how to survive. Yeah. We rely on so many outside influences just for everyday life.
Right.
You know, we talked about the other day, take away the cell phone and watch people go crazy. Man. You know, take away the TV, take away what they're used to every day.
Yeah, they're scheduled events of things.
I mean, they can't even make their own food.
Oh, they don't have to anymore.
How many times
Uber?
You've got kids and you've got friends. How many times have you had enormous amounts of food in the house, and then somebody, typically it's one of the children, will come in and say, "Man, there's nothing to eat."
Yep. Yep.
Well, in fact, there's a 7-course meal. You just have to make it.
You just have to actually put it together.
Yeah, there's nothing in the freezer to put in the microwave.
There's nothing prepared to eat right now.
Right. There's no Kraft macaroni and cheese. Well,
that's still
thing.
They wouldn't be able to do that. You'd have to boil water.
Not anymore. Now you just
put it in the.
You take the plastic cap off, put water in it, and put it in the microwave.
It's like the ramen noodles now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't have to even boil water.
No.
So yeah, it's no surprise to me that this guy is begging for help because he's scared, he's afraid. And,
I have one thing I want to say to you, John, and it's thank you very much for the vital information of how to stay uncaught when you escape from prison.
I mean, look, and it's not that I'm trying to help the criminal.
No, I know.
This is stuff that should be.
It's just a mentality thing,
flipping
right?
Sense. You know, there was when we were kids. We were younger. There was a kidnapping that occurred. It was a father and a son, and the father was looking for a wife for the son. So and apparently he had no social skills. So they kidnapped a girl. She was jogging.
Yep.
And that was a big thing in the news for a long time. And they couldn't find these guys for months. And I think it was even over a year, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
The girl did finally escape. But the reason they caught these guys, the son, he got tired of living out in the woods and came into town to buy a candy bar or something. And somebody recognized him. and then they knew where to search.
Yep.
But they never would have found these guys
if he wouldn't have went down to town.
And they were survivalists.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew how to survive, and they were doing a good job of it for 2 years. But you if you do the crime and you're not willing to do the time,
don't do it.
Go to the hills.
Yeah.
Because that's there's a lot of mountains in this country. There's a lot of open land. We really don't know how to use it and survive on it. People don't know how to fish.
Yeah, don't know how to hunt, don't know how to clean an animal.
You think I'm going to go to the bathroom out in the woods? What am I going to do? Right. Oh my God, there's no toilet to flush. What do you use for toilet paper? I mean, that's what these guys are thinking.
Right.
You know? Golly. So the next time somebody is let out of prison, you know, but before their term is
not
up,
supposed to be.
Think about, do you really want to be let out? What else, Jim? What's going on today?
Well, that's...
I had something I want to talk about.
All right, go ahead.
So I've been writing a book. It's on sales, and I was at the store the other day, and something caught my eye. There were so many people buying so many different things, and they weren't small things. They were large things, and I'm thinking, why are they buying all this? It's clearly stuff they don't need. You know, stuffed animals that were 7 feet tall.
Right.
They're trying to shove them in a cart. Just weird stuff. One guy had like 4 hoses that were 100 foot each, and you know, I'm thinking, okay, either he's got a bit. Why is he buying these? Were they on sale?
Got a big farm or something, or
yeah. Why do you think people make purchases? Do you because clearly they didn't.
It's not need. It's not need.
Yeah. I think it's beyond need. What is it?
I think it's probably a comfort thing, maybe an emotional attachment or some kind of a.
Here's the thing. You know, when people go into a store to buy something, and I'm not talking Walmart or something like that. When you go somewhere where there's a salesman who's going to
try to sell you.
Yeah. Well, see, you said it right there. People automatically get defensive. They're going to try to sell me something. I don't know why we think of salesmen that way. Because they're not going to try to sell you something. What they're going to do is they're going to guide you to what you want. You're there to buy something, but we always have to denigrate and talk bad about the salesman. Why is that? Why have we been? See, here's the thing that I know. As a salesman, there's only 2 things when you're growing up that your parents teach you to be afraid of. One is a white van with no windows. Don't go anywhere near that. You know, stay away from that. 2, a salesman. if somebody's trying to sell you something, say something mean or get them out of there. And we're so rude to these guys. And I just want to know why. Why do they have such a bad reputation?
Well, I think it's the fact that they are pushy, John. A lot of salesmen are pushy.
Yeah, so are preachers.
Right, and a lot of people don't like preachers.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I think a lot of times I'm going into a store, I want to look around. I want to shop, not being bothered.
Yeah.
And if that salesman is right on me every time I look at something, starts trying to describe it to me and tell me look, just let me look for a while. If I have any questions, I'll come and get you.
Give me an example. What are you out shopping for that you need?
Even a car, anything. Okay. Anything.
Have you done your research?
No.
Before you went?
Not all the time. Sometimes, not all the time.
Well,
sometimes I'm just going out, don't have anything else to do, so I want to go look around,
So you're not really going to buy anything? You're just wasting
possible.
time.
It's possible.
No. So I know you. You're not just going to pull because you're bored into a dealership and say, "Hey,
I'm not talking about a car now."
Yeah, well, you just did talk about a car.
Well, I'm talking. You said give you an example.
Yeah.
So, but no, so I didn't do my research, but I know about what I want, and I'm going in there. I want to look around first. I don't want him hovering over me.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
So you don't like the fact that you think salesmen are trying to do their job.
No, I didn't say he wasn't trying to do his job. Of course he's trying to do his job.
But why do you feel like he's pushing on you if all he's trying to do is tell you, hey, that one's made out of this or that one's made out of that?
Because I'll tell him right off the bat, look, I just want to look around for a while. If I have any questions, I'll let you know.
Okay.
That's just me. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just you. It's everybody's trained that way. And it's something that we're taught, that when we go into a store, I'm just looking. You know what that used to mean to me? Because this is what they do, Jim. Hey, folks, welcome to wherever.
You're just looking.
I'm just looking. Great. What are we looking at? What are you going to look at? It's weird to me why people have that wall, and I think it's because we were trained that salesmen are all shady. They're all like, I have people say like this: "You're like a used car salesman." Why? Thank you. I take that as a compliment. I'm not sure how you meant that, but and what do you think people mean by that, Jim? Oh, he's just a used car salesman.
Well, I think I've been sold a used car before, and it's been covered up things that were wrong with it. And they knew about it, obviously, but they just wanted that sale. They wanted that commission. So I think that's kind of where that comes from.
So that's where that came from. Have we ever bought anything else that was broke?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, people do all the time, right?
Yeah.
But it's the used car salesman that gets the bad rap. Is it because the car is more money?
It's a bigger purchase, and it's not as easy to return because it's broken.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think there was a reputation back then of people putting sawdust in the brake?
I don't know that they were putting sawdust
but that kind of
yes, absolutely. Selling a car that they knew had something wrong with it, but
and word got out. And I would agree. I used to tell all the guys that I was training, the worst thing that you can do as a salesperson, and I've terminated people for doing this, is lie to a customer. There's no reason to lie. If you think you have to lie to make a sale, then you're not selling. Because selling, true salesman is just assisting the customer in something that he already wants.
Right.
Nobody goes to a flooring store, say, hey, honey,
just to look around.
Let's pack up the kids and go see what's new in the flooring world. Let's see what kind of tiles or linoleum is out now. Nobody does that. So if you've got a family coming into that linoleum store, they've done their research. Probably what they know what they're looking for. They know if they want tile. They know if they want the carpet. They know if they want linoleum. But even then, it's going to be, I'm just looking. Okay, but we've got 200,000 square feet. You don't know where to go or what to look at. Let me just guide you. People have got to get out of that I'm scared of salesmen thing. And you don't have to be mean. I love sales. You know what my favorite thing is, Jim?
Selling somebody something.
Well, yeah, I do love that. I for me,
It's like a drug.
it is a drug. It's like heroin to an addict. When I'm making a sale, there's no better feeling, and I don't care if I'm selling a $2 million tractor or a $5 notebook widget. It doesn't matter. It's the same feeling, and it is. It really is. It's addicting. It truly is addicting. But yeah, I think we need to back off the beating up on salespeople. But one of my favorite things to do, Jim, is besides make a sale, is when I see people coming up, door-to-door salesmen.
Mm-hmm.
People are so mean to them. I mean, I'll invite them in. Say, tell me what you got. And I'll listen to their pitch. And if it's good, I'll tell them, hey, man, I wasn't thinking about this, but tell me why I need it. Because I'll tell you where a lot of salesmen make the mistake. They don't realize that people here's how you make a sale. You find out what it is for that guy. Okay? What's in it for me? I used to teach a thing called whiff 'em. What's in it for me? And customers, people, they want something. Well, they want it for themselves. But
that's obvious too with the purchasing culture online now. Everybody wants something even if they don't need it.
That's another thing. They buy stuff online. How many online? I was just thinking, because you talked about things are hard to return. How easy is it now to return things?
Simple.
It used to be such a hassle, like you were talking.
Yep.
But now it's like, it doesn't look good in my house.
Right.
Package is opened.
If the package is gone.
Yeah, package is gone. Maybe I took the cord because I needed it.
Right.
But
you're still getting a refund on it.
I'm
sending
still
it back. Yep.
And there's no questions anymore.
Nope.
What does that tell you about our society? I mean, how much money is out there, and how many things are out there that they can just return stuff without question? People say, "Oh, that's great customer service." Yeah, but you can't do that if you got 7 widgets and you sold 6. You got a customer wanting one, and some guy's like, I need to return these.
Right.
You can't. As a shop owner, you can't afford to do that. I mean, it's hard. It's man. Anyway, I don't know why I wanted to talk about that, but why do people buy things?
Why do you think they do, John? Is it just impulse, or is it?
No, 99% of all your sales. Again, I've only been selling for 40 years.
Right.
So 99% of sales that are closed are done with an emotional call. People are emotional beings. And if you can get their emotions involved, and that's where the whiff 'em comes in. What's in it for me? If you can tell them in story form what's in it for them and why it's going to make their life easier or better, then they get involved emotionally, and you're far more likely to make the sale. It's you just have to listen. But the number one reason, Jim, that people buy things is a simple word. It's called value. People will buy stuff they don't need if they see value in it.
Right.
And if you don't believe me, have you ever been to a swap meet or a fair where there's a guy behind a little podium and he's got the little headset with a microphone on it, and he's like, it chops, it dices, it does this, it does this, it does that. And you've probably got 2 of them at home in a closet somewhere that
but
you
not
bought,
like that.
that you bought at the 99-cent store or somewhere. Or you've got a full set of knives that do the exact same thing, or something else. But he makes it look so fun, and so easy. And he invites that old lady up. Now it's your turn. Chop this onion. Whoa! Did you see that? Now look at this omelet I'm making with those onions. Now you do the tomatoes. And he's getting these people involved, and suddenly they see value in that product. I didn't come here to this fair or to this
to buy that.
But I got to have 20 of them now,
right,
because I'm going to give one to my mom, my dad, my neighbor, my friend. And this guy can't keep them in stock because he's showing a and there's no value in those things. but he's showing them a perceived value, and it's not bad. But now they've got 15 choppers at home, and they're not going to use them.
No,
and they're going to sit there.
And if they give them away, they're not going to use them either.
No, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Every single one of those,
regifted.
sans maybe one, every single one will go. And if you go to a garage sale the next year, they're all going to be up for sale, still in with a 50-cent price tag on it. But that's where that goes, and we all do it. I mean, we all buy stuff we don't need
every day.
And we're not tricked into it. We want to buy that stuff for some reason. It's like, oh, look.
Yeah, if you don't want to buy something, you're not going to buy it.
You don't buy it.
You're not going to buy it.
You don't buy it. But if somebody shows you that value,
you're more likely to buy it.
You
Makes
will
sense.
buy it.
Makes sense.
You will buy it. What else, Jim? What else
well, I wanted to ask you about something a little more serious here.
Uh-oh.
I want to know where you stand on nationalism versus globalism.
Well, for me, it's easy. I go even deeper than nationalism. Nationalism is kind of been given a bad rap.
Well, of course it has. It has.
Whereas globalism is kind of it's been given a good rap.
Everybody thinks
the whole world isn't
help
the same.
everybody.
Well, the whole world isn't the same. We have countries. We have states.
We have borders.
And first it should be that country should take care of itself first. Whatever's left, then we can divvy that up and help.
Yeah, take care of yourself before you can take care of anyone else.
And then I would trickle that down to states. The states need to take care of their people first, and then whatever left, they can do whatever they feel the need to do. And then from there it goes to cities, and cities need to take care of their citizens first. And then from the city, those communities within the city should be first thinking of the people that live in their
community, right?
And then your neighborhood should be thinking, I'm going to take care of my neighborhood first, and then
I'll go if I have anything extra.
I'll mow my lawn and your lawn and your lawn.
And if I have time, then I'll go out and do somebody else's.
Do some other stuff. And it's the same with the family. I'm going to take care of my family first.
That was my example that I had.
And then I'm going to, once everybody in my family is taken care of, whatever's left.
Then I can help you out. But if I can't pay my power bill and I don't have food to eat, don't expect me to be paying for your power bill and buying you groceries.
Right. But globalism, I think, it's one of those things that people like to say before they actually look at the consequences. But we need to help them. Yeah,
we're so rich. We've got the money to help them.
And as a country, we are rich, but we are
overspending.
We're so many trillions of dollars in debt. And this is another topic that I could talk for hours on. We've got the Senate trying to pass the big beautiful bill that you like and I don't. And being conservative, if I was a conservative in the Senate, I would request a meeting with the president and say, convince me. Don't threaten me, but convince me.
Yeah, sell me
to sign a bill that is going to put the country another $5 trillion in debt. Well, there's other things in the bill. There's this,
which brings me to another point about other things in the bill. That's got to stop. We need one item bills. That's what it needs.
No,
to be.
I get it. I'm with you 100% on that. But we're so far in debt. I don't think I could be convinced to vote for it. And I'm conservative.
Right.
I'm libertarian on a lot of the issues, like the drug issue and stuff like that. But for the most part, I have conservative values, and I don't think I would vote for that bill, Jim. We need to get more people like Rand Paul,
right?
That actually look at these line items,
read things,
and say, why are we spending this on this? Why are we spending? We just broke it down from globalism all the way down to the family,
right?
We wouldn't, as a family, say, look, I know you're making X amount of dollars, so let's spend 3 times that and buy a motorcycle because that'll be fun to drive.
Right.
And then we're left without food. You would go broke in months. You'd be bankrupt.
Right.
You'd be out of a house. You'd be living on the streets. But we do it as a country all the time. And all
Every
we
single
do
day.
is these senators keep saying, well, we'll just increase the debt limit.
Yeah.
We'll just
Just basically go farther in debt.
Yeah.
All that's doing is your credit card's maxed out, so you up your limit on the credit card so
and
you
that's
can
all you're
spend
doing.
more.
That's all you're doing. But next time it's going to be better.
Right.
I just need another 100,000 on this American Express.
Just to
do
get
that.
myself together so I can start paying it off.
And I'm not going to pay next month either, but I'll probably need, another 20,000 on that.
In fact, every month just up it by
Just keep
5,000.
increasing it. And at some point,
You can just come and take it.
you'll
from me.
die off, and then I can convince the other guy that I need to increase it even more.
Either that or you can foreclose on it and take everything we've got, which is what's going to happen to our country if we don't get it under control.
I don't know if that will ever happen. In fact, I know that won't happen. But I don't like the idea. For me, it's the idea. It's an ideal. I have a deeper set of morals than to keep getting further and further in debt and saying it's a good thing to pass this bill that's going to make us further and further in debt.
But don't you think nationalism causes xenophobia? And what is it? Isolationism?
That nobody ever heard of that word until about 3 years ago. There's nothing wrong with loving your country.
Nothing at all.
There's nothing wrong with loving your country. There's nothing
and
wrong.
you should love your country more than any other country there is.
30 years ago, every person in America would have been considered a xenophobe because we were all about America.
Yeah,
we
America.
were all prideful.
Buy America.
We all, flew the American flag. But now all it is, it's used as a weapon from a certain group to denigrate somebody else and try to make them feel bad, and used as talking points for people who really don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, John, is there anything that really bothers you?
Yeah. I guess we're going to make this a segment. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of things that bother me.
Well, pick one.
In fact, I could talk for 5
2
or
days.
6 hours just on, things that bother me. But I won't bore you with them. So I told you I was at the store the other day.
Yes.
And I saw all these people shopping for stuff.
Oh.
That doesn't bother me because I love it when people spend money. It means the economy's doing well. But a vast majority of the people were just so sloppily dressed. And it's not that I'm making fun of people who are sloppily dressed. I'm making fun of the ones who show up at a restaurant or a store wearing pajamas and slippers,
A bathrobe, curlers.
and that's not a joke.
No, it's not an exaggeration.
It drives me crazy, and you look at them and you're like, have you no self-respect?
Yep.
I mean, did you really roll out of bed and say,
Throw on your slippers.
I look so good, I want the world to see me like this?
I'm going shopping.
Yeah, there used to be a time when people cared about how they looked, or cared about what other people thought about them and their families.
Look at the airlines. I mean, when you went on an airline back in the day, you were in a suit and tie.
Yeah, it was an experience.
Your suit and tie. And now people are going there in
pajamas.
Yeah.
And
Bathrobes.
That sort of thing. I mean, honestly, where is your self-respect? Have you no dignity? What is going on with America today that is okay? If I was a cashier at one of these places and somebody came to my line like that, I'd say, you know what? Go back to bed.
I can't wait on you.
And I'd probably get fired, but that's okay because we've got to get back to some sort of, caring about how we look. Take some time. I bet these people didn't even brush their teeth when they got up. They just got up, threw on their slippers
and left.
Walked around the house like, oh my God, I got to go to Walmart.
I don't have any milk.
Got to go to Target, or I got to go to the local gas station or whatever. And, it just, and pajamas with a bathrobe. Undone, so the thing is being dragged behind.
Tie is falling back there.
And this isn't a single incident.
This happens all the time.
All the time. And I just wonder, why? Why? What? When we grew up, Mom wouldn't go outside unless she looked good. Grandma,
Grandma had ever.
Grandma wouldn't.
Perfect.
Grandma wouldn't open the front door unless she had her dress and her hair done and her makeup, and and I get times are changing. And
it's a slow progression downward is where it's going. And I can't wait for it to start turning around and start getting back the other way.
Now, and I'm not asking for people to, do the dishes in their high heels and dress, and,
right?
But
if you're going outside in public,
take care of yourself.
Put on some clothes.
I mean, honestly, take care of yourself. Have common courtesy. I don't want to stand next to you in a restaurant and you're smelling like you've been asleep all day on a couch, and you got Cheetos stuck to your
to your bathrobe.
Yeah, I mean it's disgusting. But yeah, that bothers me.
Yeah, and I can see that.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you say we call that a show today?
I think that's a good idea.
I'm going to be going on vacation here pretty quick.
Be gone for a few weeks.
Yeah, so we may do one a week instead of 2 a week, but we will get them out there. We're trying to get something together where we can do a remote episode. We may do a couple of those.
We'll try it out, see if we can get it together.
Yeah, we'll get some things going on. But until then, guys, we'll see you next time.
Please
Thanks for watching.
Give us some feedback. mindovermedia@usa.com.
Yeah.
Check us out on all the social media.
Instagram, Facebook,
TikTok, X.
Yeah.
All of them.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching.
Have a good day. Bye.